Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Hard AF podcast. I'm your host, Chelsea Van Buskirk. In today's episode, I'm opening up about a powerful moment of release, one filled with tears, screaming, and finally naming my truths out loud. We'll explore what happens when we carry the weight of unprocessed emotions, why our partners often act as mirrors for healing, and I'll share practical tools to help you move through triggers and reconnect with your faith, your joy, and your Hard AF self. This episode is real, raw, and packed with insight. Let's get to it. I wanted to talk to you guys about a post I made recently that got a lot of feedback. I had a breakdown and it was really intense, and I felt called to share what had just happened. And so a part of me having this I wouldn't say meltdown, it was more of a release, right? Like I had this very dramatic, like crying, screaming release of just letting go of all of the stuff I had been holding on to. And I finally was able to let it out and let it go. And in that process, I felt called to write about my experience. And so I wrote a long form post that I posted on my Facebook page, and I did a shortened version on my Instagram page. So you can go back and look at it. It was on the 31st of October is the date of the post if you want to go back and look at it. But it got a lot of comments and feedback. And so I felt called to do an episode on this because there was a lot to this moment that I had, and a lot I feel like we could dissect and look at a couple different pieces of my experience of not only what happened, but then what happened with the post I made and the feedback I got. So couple weeks ago, we talked about emotions and feelings. And what happened in this instance where I had this big release was the aftermath of holding on to so much feeling and emotions that I didn't want to look at. And a lot of those feelings that were suppressed within me were, painful feelings that I didn't want to look at. And so I thought it would be good to help bring awareness to when this happens with you. So many of us are walking around carrying very heavy things, heavy feelings, heavy emotions, heavy things that we're working through and processing that we're not talking about, that no one knows, right? There are these invisible, silent struggles that everybody is facing in their day-to-day lives, right? And this is why it's so important, I feel like, to have that layer of compassion and kindness for anyone that you encounter in your life, because you just never know what people are holding on inside. You never know what kinds of things they're dealing with behind the curtain, behind the scenes that we don't know of or aren't aware of. I think it's very important to realize that. And it's very important also. And it's the whole reason why I'm so vulnerable and share all the shit that's going on with me, because I want to make sure that people know they're not alone, right? That just because so many of us look like we have our shit together and that things are going great in our lives, there's always a layer of struggle. It doesn't matter how successful you are. Everybody's got struggles in their lives. Everybody's got shit they're dealing with. We all have our own wounds and traumas from our past and our childhoods that we're all dealing with in our adult lives, right? Like it's just, we're all dealing with it. We're all healing. We're all growing. We're all trying to figure it out, right? We're figuring it out as we go along. And there's people who want to be public about what they're going through in order to help share and help give solutions and help bring awareness for other people so that they can make progress in their own healing journey. So it's all about just sharing information, because when you know more, then you can do something different, right? Like it's you do the best of your ability for with what you know in that moment. So the more you know, the better you can do in the next moment when something comes up. So all of this sharing is all just to help the greater collective in our own healing journey, to help bring awareness to ourselves so that we can be our own healers, right? Because that's the truth of it, is that we have to be our own healers. No one else can heal for us. No one else can fix our problems. Like we have to be the person to fix our own shit. And when we take care of ourselves, and when we fix our stuff, and when we heal ourselves, and everything else around us follows suit, right? And that's the way we change the world, right? We change the world by first changing ourselves. So, all right, let's go back to this moment I had. It was a Friday. I had a straw that broke the camel's back moment. And so leading up to this moment, I have been suppressing and carrying, kind of compacting all these things inside, right? Like there's a lot of past hurts I was carrying, didn't want to look at some of these things that had dealt with or experienced. And what happens when we ignore it, just, we stuff it down, we distract ourselves, we numb ourselves, and experienced a trigger earlier in the week, which reminded me of some of these feelings that I didn't want to look at, right? It brought some of these feelings back up to the surface, and I'm like, kind of making me uncomfortable, making me upset, and I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to stuff it down, right? My week progresses, and there's little annoyances and irritations that are getting layered on, and I'm looking for other distractions and trying to, put stuff on other people to make me feel better, right? Like specifically my husband. So usually, if you have that person in your life, a significant other or a best friend, sometimes we tend to blame them or offload on them or want to make it their responsibility to make you feel better. Anybody else? So Anyway, here we go. Day after day, I'm suppressing these feelings that have come bubbling up and not wanting to go there. And I finally, like, my husband did something to like piss me off. And again, it wasn't even that big of a deal, but it was like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? So it's like all this other stuff underneath that was like an iceberg, right? Like there's all this heavy stuff underneath, but there's just this little tip that I got annoyed, I got ticked off, and so then I go off on my husband and he becomes my punching bag, right? Like I'm using him, like he's igniting that fuse. He's the one that was the tip of the iceberg that, made the whole thing kind of unfold. And so I kind of go off on him and he's responding, obviously defensive, but also let me just tell you something. You and your person, most likely it's your partner or your spouse, they are mirrors for you. This can also be a best friend too, but usually the most significant person in your life and most people in your life will always be mirrors for you, right? So, and me kind of attacking him, so to speak, or unleashing on him, right? It's like a volcano, right? I was erupting, right? All that lava and all the tension and all this stuff that was going underneath the surface, it came flowing out, and he became the person that was in the line of fire. And with him kind of holding that mirror for me as I'm, projecting and going off at him, he's reflecting it back to me, kind of defending himself and like telling what his experience is. And in him telling me that, it's like that's my reflection where I was able to look back at myself and see, oh shit, yeah, he's right. Like there's all this stuff that I'm not wanting to look at, right? There's these pains and wounds that I don't want to voice and come out with. And like at the end of it, it's not that I'm angry, it's that I'm hurt. I'm hurt and I'm upset. I'm so upset about these things that happened to me, right? And it's stuff that I didn't want to look at. I didn't want to admit that some of these things really hurt me. Like they hit one of those deep wounds that I did not want to look at because it's painful. It's painful. And so we ignore it, we numb it. So many of us numb it with food, exercise, TV, the mindless scroll, alcohol, drugs, like you name it. Like we're looking for some way to distract ourselves because it's too painful to look at that truth that we don't want to look at? And what happens is it builds up this resentment. It compacts all, like I said, like it's like this iceberg or the lava, like the stuff underneath the surface. It starts building up, it's festering within you. You're holding on to it. It's making you angry, bitter, resentful. You're more irritable. Everything in your life seems to be going wrong, right? Like every little thing kind of ticks you off, like you're just pissed off at the world. You're stuck in this victimhood. What you're doing is you're blocking off that connection to that higher source, to your intuitive hits, to like being able to manifest and find joy and abundance. Like you become more limited, like you're blocking yourself, right? Like it's like all of a sudden all these limitations and this kind of negative perspective is like placed on you, and you're just kind of this unhappy person that no one really wants to be around, right? Like that's when you're like repelling stuff instead of being magnetic and attracting amazing things into your life. Now you're closed off, you're blocked off, and now you're repelling everything. And so nothing's going right in your life, and things just kind of like topple over. It's like a domino effect, right? And this happens because we don't want to look at our shit. We don't want to deal with it. It's too painful. But the only way to heal this, the only way to like move past this is to go through it. You have to face your shit. You have to look at it. And in doing that, you free yourself, you lighten your load, right? Like we go around hanging on to all these painful, hurtful things, like it weighs us down. So another way to look at it, I was using this kind of volcano metaphor or whatever, but you can also think of it as carrying around extra weight. One of the exercises my spiritual teachers had us do when I was in this class was she had us go for a full week adding extra weight in everything we did. And so you could do this by carrying around a backpack or a purse with, a large rock in it, or, a dumbbell, some kind of weight, and carrying that weight with you throughout everything you do throughout your day for a whole week straight. And what I did for my exercise is I did like ankle weights. So I walked around with ankle weights. Everything I did during that week, like the weights were on, right? And so you do this for a full week and then you finally take it off. And that release that you feel letting go of the weight that you've been carrying around, right? Like it's like this, oh my gosh, like why was I punishing myself? Why was I walking around carrying all this stuff that like did nothing for me, right? There's no benefit to holding on to your shit, right? It just weighs you down. It causes you more issue. It blocks you off from having a good, abundant life, right? I'm telling you. So back to the actual story of what happened with me, right? My husband's this mirror. He's showing me that I'm not looking at what I need to look at. And so in this conversation with him, I remember just driving and just finally just like screaming, like literally letting out a scream, like throwing a full on tantrum, like a young child, like screaming in the car while I'm driving, like sobs start coming out. I finally get to a parking spot and I just scream, cry, and the tears are just coming. And I'm like realizing it's just, I'm probably saying out loud the things I don't want to say. Like, this happened to me. This hurt my feelings. This hurt me. I feel rejected. This was wrong. Like, this was not right. Like I was finally saying the words, letting it out, expressing what I needed to express, feeling what I needed to feel, and letting it out. Like, it was so freeing not only to scream and to cry, but actually just naming the stuff that I didn't want to name, right? It was like I didn't want to admit that this stuff hurt me. I didn't want to admit what these people did to me. I didn't want to look at the truth of what my experience was, right? It was so painful. Like, it was so painful. And the other side of this is so often when somebody else's actions or behaviors cause us pain, like we want to hold on to that and like punish that person and like hold on to that victimhood of like, this happened to me, this shouldn't have happened to me. I'm freaking pissed about it. And like, they should make it right, right? Like, we put all the blame on the person or the situation that happened. Like, they need to fix it, right? Like, it's on them. Like, why I don't need to fix it because they're the ones that did this. And you kind of get like that mad, like, you know, what's the word I'm trying to look for? But you guys know what I mean. Like, right? Like, you can feel this. You've been in this situation where somebody has done something to piss you off that hurt you, and you want them to pay. You want them to fix it. It's up to them. But here's the truth. Nobody fixes anything but you. It's not on them who did whatever upset you or hurt you. They can't fix it for you. No one can fix your problems but you. We have to take responsibility in our healing, right? Someone else may have done something to hurt us, but we don't wait for them to fix it. They can never fix it. Doesn't matter what they say or do, it's never going to fix what's hurt within us. That's on us. That is our responsibility. We have to heal it. We have to fix it. And in fixing it, and the way to like heal that really is to go through it and see what we don't want to see, right? It's looking at it like, this person crossed a boundary of mine, this person hurt me. What am I going to do to fix it and heal it within myself, right? How do I find safety and love within myself? Quit putting your healing on other people, right? It's not up to them. Like, we have to stop looking for fulfillment and healing and love from other people. It's all within us. It's within us, and remembering and connecting with our higher source, connecting with God, the love within us, right? Knowing that we're already whole, right? And so here's what we do is you look at it like, when your body starts sending you messages, when those feelings start coming up, that's your indication that something's going on, right? A lot of times when we hold on to stuff, it causes sickness. It causes that constant irritation. We're easily angered. It's like our fuse is shortened, so it's like every little thing sets us off. We become this person we don't really want to be, right? We become this like negative Nancy. No one wants to be around us. Things in our life seem to kind of just fall apart around us because we're disconnected, we're out of alignment, we're stuck in that victimhood, we're putting limitations on what we can have or experience in our lives. Like, it's this negative domino effect, right? It's a spiral. And we want to spiral back up, right? We want to lift our energy back up, find that connection, and heal ourselves. And it all starts with us like looking at the shit we don't want to look at. So in me, in this instance, my husband holding that mirror, making me see what I don't want to see, right? It had me dig deep and look at those feelings and see where I was really hurt. And just being able to name it was a way for me to release it. Being able to actually look at it and let myself feel those feelings allowed me to release it, right? I was able to scream. I was able to cry. I let it go. And when you can speak it out loud, when you can get that external release, it's a way letting it out of you, right? Like, all that stuff that I had built up inside with me, like, this was the way to release it and get it out of my body. A lot of times we talk about like movement, and that also can help, like somatic practices, right? That's a really big healing practice, is somatic movements. And you can, Google that. There's a lot of somatic healers out there. It's so helpful. I've used it a lot in trying to heal from a lot of the traumas I've been holding on to. So looking at your triggers and what your experiences, like, your body's probably trying to talk to you and to let you know that something's not right, right? When you feel out of alignment, when you feel things, it's an indicator that I need to take a deeper look within myself and ask myself some questions about what's going on. I think it takes asking a brave question, like, is this how I want to live my life right now, right? Do I want to live in this bitter, irritated, like mad, everything pisses me off, I want everybody to know that I'm hurt? Like, do you want to be that person? Do you want to live life like that? Or do you want to live in this happy state, in this joyful state, in this state where you're creating the life of your dreams where you're able to manifest and you feel connected and you feel, the vibes are good, right? And it's like when you're in that connected state, when you're feeling good, you're feeling God. Like that's how you know you're connected and in alignment. That's like how you feel like strong in your faith and you can feel protected and like just like on fire, like ready to take on the world. Like you're so jazzed up, so full of love, so connected that it doesn't matter what comes your way, like you're strong enough and more able to handle it. And this is all a practice, right? We're all like working to grow in our awareness so that when things do come up, when we are hurt, when people do shitty things and it hurts us, like we can actually have the awareness to look at it and say, that was fucked up. That hurt me. I'm mad. I'm upset. And just literally saying that, like literally just speaking your truth and like that upset me, that hurt me, period. Like just saying it out loud, whether, you can be brave enough to say it in the moment and to that person, or whether you're writing it out in a journal or speaking it out to yourself privately or venting to a friend, like getting that stuff out, like speaking your truth and letting it out is the way to move past it. So you're not holding on to it. Because what happens is things will happen. We feel a certain way, but instead of voicing it, we suppress it. We quiet ourselves because we want to keep the peace, or we're not trying to ruffle any feathers. We think it's better to just like sweep it under the rug and move on. It gets buried, right? When we bury stuff under the rug, we're suppressing stuff, we keep compacting stuff. So then, more stuff happens and we keep just not saying anything. And like we move through our day to day, the weeks go by, days go by, and more things that irritate us and more things we're not speaking up. And it just keeps layering and compacting within us. And I'm telling you, that's what creates sickness and disease until we look at it, until we unleash it. And it's worse when you let it compact like that because then you end up exploding and it usually comes out the wrong way. And then you might be the one that hurts somebody else because you didn't deal with it in an appropriate time when you should have, right? When you hold on to stuff and you keep suppressing it, you're not voicing or speaking up for yourself, expressing your needs or expressing when a boundary's been crossed, when you're not like sticking up for yourself, it can only stay contained for so long before it explodes and then it causes more issues. Right? The volcano explodes and lava goes and destroys some stuff, right? Like it'll leave even more collateral damage, right? So the way to not have that happen is to grow in your awareness and start speaking up for yourself in the moment. And sometimes that's really hard. But again, it's a practice. It's just first starting to become aware of like, oh, I'm having some feelings right now. What is this feeling trying to tell me? What is this messenger? What boundary of mine has been crossed? What am I not okay with? What's going on? And really taking that kind of microscope, yeah, that's taking that deep look within and asking yourself what's going on, what is wrong, what is really wrong, what's the real reason I'm having feelings right now. What is that? What wound did that hit? What is it? Do some investigative work and then speak it out loud, let it out and release it, right? That's how it loses its power. That's how we free ourselves. That's how we unload the weight so we're not carrying it around. This is it. This is healing. It's messy. It's messy, but that's how we do it, and it's not fun. In theory, it's so much easier to just pretend like everything's okay and just move on through our days, but it always catches up with you. It always catches up with you. It's like a wound that you don't treat, right? It ends up getting infected and causing more issues, right? You don't want that. I'm telling you, when you do the work and you allow yourself that release and you handle it, then you're better equipped to handle things as they come. You stay in that connected state, you can more easily get right back into that connected state, that abundant state where you can see that this is just a lesson. This is something that is teaching me. This is something where I'm learning that I need to set a boundary here. Like it's all for my highest good in learning, right? Like it's all a process and it's painful. I don't want to look at what this person did to me and I don't want to admit that this hurt me, but it did. So it's like being honest and being truthful and like seeing it and saying it, letting it out, letting it move through you, moving your body, letting it shake out, right? Like when I was talking about the somatic practices, like you can dance, you can shake it out, right? Like the screaming, like letting it out. Sometimes music can help you, right? A sad song or emotional song or an angry song, like listening to something like that that helps you express yourself, right? Like finding some kind of outlet where you can express yourself. So that could be writing, like I said, the screaming, the crying, listening to a song or even watching some kind of movie that helps bring out these emotions so that you can find that release because sometimes it's hard to allow ourselves to cry or whatever, but sometimes if we can stimulate that through watching a movie or listening to a song and helping us express it and get it out, like that's how we're going to release it, right? And it's okay. And this is the other thing, so going back to some of the responses I got on that post, is, one thing that was really cool is just seeing, wow, so many freaking people are dealing with shit. I'm not alone. Like everybody's got their shit that they're dealing with. Everybody's healing. That's 100% fact. And it's really nice to be able to see in real time that that's a fact, right? That there's so many of us out there who are struggling in silence, who are carrying things in our day-to-day lives, that we're all healing and working and trying to do our best day to day, right? That there's something comforting in knowing that you're not the only one that's struggling. So there was that. The other side of it was there was like a lot of sympathy, a lot of like, oh, I'm sorry, like you poor thing, well, stuff like that. And I feel like that was kind of, obviously these people are well-meaning, right? Like they want to like send you well wishes and like, but it also, I felt like kind of had this like layer of shame um tied to it, where it almost made it sound like it wasn't okay for me to have a breakdown, right? Like, oh, are you okay? Because you shouldn't be breaking down, or something like that. I might be reading into it, but I just felt like it was something I needed to acknowledge, because I need you guys to know that it's okay to have a freaking breakdown. It's okay to release, to cry, to scream, because that's how you get it out. So there's no shame in that. Okay. So that was like another big piece of what I want to make sure I said on today's episode, is that you don't have to publicly share it like I do, but it is okay to have that release for yourself. There is nothing wrong with having a breakdown, because it is not okay to hold it in. That's going to eat you alive. That's going to make you more miserable. So again, it's asking yourself, like, how do I want to live? What do I want to feel in my day-to-day life? If you want to feel good, that's feeling God. That is being connected. That is how we manifest. That is how we have a life of abundance, is when we get ourselves out of that state, when we allow ourselves to feel, allow yourselves to break down. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how we grow and how we heal. That's how we move through it. There's no way around it. It's always, you have to go through it. And it sucks. It sucks sometimes. It's painful, but that's okay. Let it out. It's when we are suppressing stuff that causes us issues. Like, I feel like that is sometimes one of the main root causes of like addictions and things, right? Is like we want to numb it, we want to suppress it, we don't want to deal with it. Deal with it. Life is hard. It is. Like, we're going to have things that come up in our life. People are human. They're going to hurt us, whether intentionally or unintentionally. It's going to happen, but it's on us on how we deal and process it. And I'm telling you, your life will be better if you can face it. And again, it's not pretty, right? I literally posted a picture. I took a picture of myself after I wiped the snot off my face. Like, I was in it. I was crying. I was letting it all out. It was not pretty, but that is what healing looks like. It's not pretty. It's not easy. But what's better? Is it better to have like a few rough moments like that where you're letting it out and like expressing yourself? Isn't that better, so that you can have a joyful and freeing, like more weightless life? Or is it better just hold it all in and walk around with these rocks on your back, right? Walking around in this bitter, upset state, ready to explode on the people you love at any given moment, right? Who's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, that they get the lava spewed on them, right? Like, we end up hurting people, and we don't need to. We don't need to cause more pain, right? You know how they say, like, hurt people hurt people? Like, this is why, because we're not speaking up for ourselves and we're not dealing with our shit. We keep it all in, that we like end up hurting other people because we're exploding, right? And that's not fair. So again, how we change the world is by first starting with ourselves. So I hope this sunk in. I would really love to hear from you guys. Let me know if this resonated with you, if you got some stories to share with me. I'm always open to also hear any feedback. If you guys want to let me know like topics you want me to discuss, or if you have questions that you want me to answer, hit me up in my, send me an email or hit me in the DMs. My email address is info@chelseavanbuskirk.com. And you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at chelsea.vanbuskirk. And all that information is always in the show notes as well for easy access. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope this spoke to you. My encouraging message is to, look at your shit, deal with it, heal, live hard AF, okay? Because that's what it's all about. It's our healing that is going to bring us back home, bring us back to that joyful state of being, bring us back to that abundant life that we all want to live. And that is my wish for you guys. So I love you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Peace. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today on the Heart AF podcast. If this episode inspired you, share it with a friend who could use a little hope right now. And don't forget to leave a rating and review. Not only does it mean the world to me, but it also helps others find the show. Plus, every month I'll be choosing a review at random to win a $100 Amazon gift card. So make sure you screenshot yours and send it to me on Instagram at chelsea.vanbuskirk. I can't wait to be back with you next week. Until then, keep choosing love, keep choosing hope, and let's live Heart AF.